Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. And thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video as we talk about our next steps in facilitating the process to match up mentors with our students, our Catalyst students. My name is Jennifer Norman, and I'm here to chat with you about Catalyst Speed Networking and how we are working to facilitate partnerships between a community of adults here at SAS, how that can impact students and how it can help them gain confidence. So as we had already talked previously in our meeting, one of the key components of the Catalyst class is encouraging students to work with an adult mentor. And so we have found that adult mentors are extremely valuable in developing a student's project and pushing the student to critically think about the different components of their project. And part of that is it's very daunting for a student to have to go out and make a connection with an adult that they don't know. And so we're providing this opportunity for adults in our community to meet up with students in the Catalyst program. So our agenda for today is to actually take a look at what speed networking is all about, how it's going to work in a virtual setting, what the day of the event actually looks like, a few tips and guidelines for mentors, a few resources that you might find valuable, and then plan those next steps for the selection process, including perusing the student web pages and looking at their project ideas. So that's our agenda for this video. So first, let's talk about what speed networking is. With students and mentors getting together, you'll have the opportunity to meet in breakout rooms on a Zoom call. And these are going to be for very, very short conversations. And the students have prepared an elevator pitch about their project idea. So mentors will have a few minutes to listen, and then afterwards you'll have a few minutes to ask clarifying questions. And then both students and mentors during this time should have the opportunity or use this opportunity to see if you are a good fit for one another. So take this time to get to know one another and see if you are this good fit for this partnership. How does this speed networking work? This really is two parts, and so I'll talk about the mentors first. So the mentors can expect to spend about 30 to 60 minutes looking at student project ideas. We've grouped them into categories, and so hopefully that will give you a list of students and narrow down the list of students that you want to look at. And then you can peruse those student web pages. And so on the right-hand side, this is what a student web page looks like. It'll start with the biography of the child, of the student, and then it'll work down to their worthy goal. You'll be able to see their driving question for their project and some further information discussing the three pillars of the framework that we have set up for them: thrilling, daunting, and important. And you'll hear those three words again: thrilling, daunting, and important, later on as we start talking about student projects. So after you've looked at the topics and you've perused through a few web pages of the students, you're going to want to create a list of about 5 to 6 students that you want to meet during speed networking. You won't have time to meet everybody, and so if you narrow this down to 5 or 6, then hopefully from there you can narrow it down to the 1, 2, or 3 students that you'd actually like to partner up with. On the flip side of this, what the students are doing is they're looking at your profiles and they're getting to know your names and the name of your profession, along with maybe your interests or your hobbies. So you may not be an expert in the field of that student, but you might have similar hobbies and similar interests. And so that's going to provide some valuable information to the student as they are also making their list of top 3 mentors that they would like to work with. On the day of the event, this is what you can expect as a mentor. We will set up a Zoom call with numerous breakout rooms. So on the right-hand side, you can see here that there are 10 breakout rooms set up for students. So the student would come in and they would rename that breakout room to their first and last name. And then you can see from the image, as the adult is perusing through the list of names, you can hover over the join button and you can click yes, and you'd be able to join into that room. Right to the left of the join button, you can see there's a figure of a person. And if that number is 2, that means that there are 2 people in the room already. And so that we ask that you not join that room. You wait until that conversation is finished, and then you can go and join that room. When you're ready to leave the breakout room, the image at the bottom, you'll have 2 options. So always choose the blue option, which is leave the breakout room. If by chance you leave the meeting, don't worry, you can always rejoin, and then you can pick up right where you left off. If you have trouble joining a breakout room, there will be 6 other adults on the call, 6 other teachers, and we will all be there to assist you if you just tell us which room you would like to go to. So as you're listening to the elevator pitch and you're ready to ask some questions, we ask you to frame your questions around the 3 pillars of the framework that we've created for students. And it's all based on their ideas and their worthy goal. And so some of the questions that you can ask them is, why is this project thrilling to you? Why is this project important to you? Or why is this project daunting to you? These are 3 of the pillars that build upon a strong project, and the students have heard these words for the last 4 weeks, and so they will be able to answer those questions for you. I think a 4th question that is also worthy of asking is, what are you looking for in a mentor? And I think this would help you capture whether or not you are a good fit. You're trying to determine whether or not you are a good fit for a good partnership between a student and a mentor. All right, some things that we ask mentors to focus on. While students are creating a product at the end, getting ready to showcase, we ask that you focus on the process of learning. So if you focus on the student as a learner and their learning process, this will get them to reflect a little bit deeper on the learning that they are going through in order to get to that final project. You can also focus on the qualities of the student that the student sees in themselves or what they aspire to. And we've also used the word learning edges or mosquitoes. And so these are things that, if they can overcome those obstacles, those learning edges, those mosquitoes, that's where we're going to see the growth in maturity, in confidence, and in their learning. And then listen and reflect back on what you hear. Um, we're really going to try and refrain from actually telling students what to do with their project. Instead, we're going to use questioning techniques in order to get them to think deeper about the direction that they would like their project to go in. So some resources that we have. So you've already heard me use the word thrilling, daunting, important quite a few times. And so the book on the left, written by Michael Bungay Stanier, those words or this framework comes from a book that he wrote. And he's saying that these 3 pillars or these 3 items make up a project that is worthy of working on. And so at the same time, he's written a book called The Coaching Habit, which, if you can ask more questions, this is where you get the critical thinking and you get students to dive a little bit deeper into their project and really think about how they are going to move this project forward. So again, we're not trying to do the project for them. We're just trying to line up the right questions to ask them to start thinking deeply about their project. We do have a healthy budget for our program, so there really should not be any out-of-pocket expenses. But if you do find a resource that you think is valuable to the student, we ask that you tell the student about that, and then they can come to us and they can seek funding in order to purchase that resource. So what are your next steps? The things that you can expect are contained in the email that you have already received. The very first one is links to a Breakout Rooms tutorial. This is going to describe for you how the Breakout Rooms will be set up on the day of speed networking, but it's also going to show you how you can navigate in and out of those Zoom rooms to talk to the students that you'd like to talk to. You're also going to receive the Zoom link for speed networking, And then you're also going to receive a link to the student web pages. You'll want to read through those documents, and you'll specifically want to read through the student project ideas and spend some time looking at the projects and creating your list of 5 to 6 students that you'd like to talk to on the day of the speed networking. On the day of the speed networking, which is either going to be Wednesday, September 14th or Thursday, September 15th, you'll join the Zoom call, and then we'll walk through the steps on how the breakout rooms are going to work one last time before we actually start. And so we're projecting that we'll have about an hour from 11 to 12, and this just happens to be the students' lunchtime. You don't need to be on both of the Zoom calls for both days. Instead, what we've done is we've broken this down by categories. And so you'll be able to see the category that the student has identified with. So on Wednesday, those topic choices that will be part of the Zoom call will be psychology, business, cooking, science, technology, and the makerspace. And then you can see on Thursday, the topics will be social justice, communication, writing, speaking, athletics, media, and art design. So if you have some questions, we ask that you email Shireen Fani. She's been in communication with you so far. She is the community liaison for helping to facilitate our adult mentors. So we really appreciate all that she has done for us. And so we want to continue that line of communication and work through her. So continue to ask those questions and continue to reach out to her. But in the next day or two, you'll be receiving another email with those resources. So thank you for your time. And we really look forward to seeing you next Wednesday or Thursday.